Hello everybody, welcome back for our marquee matchup. As I am now stationed here with Rusty, we've got ourselves WE going up against Rogue Warriors. That's right, you probably expected a play-by-play. I've got some bad news.
Or is it good news, Raz?
It's good news. It's good news.
It's good news.
I know we had some invasions in Chongqing. There's definitely been an invasion in the casting area. We've just booted out all the casters. Pulse is kind of sick. Dom he wanted to do it. I didn't let him. So that's just what we're dealing with. Now, I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
What are the stakes?
There are an incredible amount of stakes going in this set, Raz, because of Dom. Because you're not a play-by-play, my bad. Raz, there's a lot of stakes. Now, what are they, you might add? Well, there's absolutely none.
Excellent.
This is a show match. It's the last game that both of these teams will play in the regular season of the LPL. For one of them, it's prior to playoffs. For the other one, it's prior to having a very long break. And that is WE, of course, taking on Rogue Warriors. And the stakes don't exist. It should just be a fun set, but maybe Rogue Warriors do take it seriously.
Depends, because I've noticed something yesterday, Rusty. I've noticed that there was an invasion. I already made a mention of that. I pre-alluded to it. There was a lot of WE fans in Chongqing. This is going to be a great day for esports in Chongqing, especially. We've got a lot of games happening here. But the fans are there. WE wants to be able to make it known to their audience that they should be in playoffs, but obviously what happened at the beginning of the split definitely hurt them. So for that roster, they want to be hit. Now remember, everybody, while this set is happening, pay attention to the next set. That one has standing implications. Whoever takes the second place spot, RNG versus JDG. That will happen no matter what. The game's being played in Beijing. So if this game goes on a little bit too long, we will cut that short to find ourselves in the match of the week.
Exactly. So pay attention to the clock just as much. If this happens to go to 3 games, we hit 7 o'clock, we'll most likely hot swap straight into that set because it's an absolute banger. It's the biggest set of the split for both of those teams. Especially because if you finish third, you're on the Invictus Gaming side of the bracket. No one wants that.
You don't want that. So that's why we're going to immediately go in towards the standings, what the playoff picture will look like for us. Because with the last games being completed, the Western Conference is done and dusted. We know that 4th place is now belong towards FPX. Now, what we see for the Western Conference, I already made a mention of that. Congratulations to FPX, sitting their butts down in Shanghai. They hadn't had to do a goddamn thing. They lost to EDG yesterday, and they were just praying, hoping that Snake would lose today. It was definitely very close. A matter of minutes if you missed that game. Go back to it. Snake lost in a grand finish. So there you have it.
It was a banger. And I will say, Raz, that whilst it came down to the wire, it absolutely came down to the last set for Snake, and FX only had to lose and they still managed to make it. That's because Snake lost like every set they've played in the past 2 weeks. And most of them were even 2-0 defeats. So Snake, with 6 sets left, compared to their opponents who had 3, managed to lose all of them but 1 set. And they had all of the opportunity in their own hands, and they still found a way to somehow not make 4.
And now, one of the teams that took them down, Snake just needed to beat down WE. That didn't happen.
Not
because
at all.
WE feeling very damn powerful as we're getting into the pick and ban. So for WE, definitely a matter of pride for them. Going up against a newer RW roster, Holder in the top lane, Kiwi. Let's look through the pick and ban. What do you expect to see?
I mean, for me, first and foremost, you've got WE against Rogue Warriors. Claire to mid is a big pick for Doinby, and I'm not expecting to see that one banned away. Share's got such a deep champion pool that I'd have to imagine after this many weeks, you know, he's got something that he could potentially, I should say, play against that. We have seen some successful picks, namely from Icon, playing against that pick, and this is actually one of those.
This is actually pretty hectic. Aatrox and Akali still left open. So Rogue Warriors is just saying, let it all free. I know we have playoffs coming up fairly soon. What we just want to do is be patient and get to see what we can play against.
And we've seen this once. We have seen the Aatrox and the Akali left available, and we saw the first side, the blue side team, pick the Aatrox first, and we also saw their opponents say, well, Akali is obviously available, we should pick that one. The Akali went mid lane, the Akali solo died twice, and they hard lost the game because Aatrox demolishes Akali through laning phase. So at Rogue Warriors, of course, they've seen that. They've seen the tape. They know what happens. They've now picked up a Ryze and an Akali in their first rotation here. Very easily able to flex between both top and mid between both champions. I like that a lot more from Rogue Warriors. They haven't just put the Akali against the Aatrox.
And if you haven't seen much of Holder in the past, he's played a few games, but also streams quite heavily in the house. And he is a great carry top laner, a Korean player, so that's the reason why Kiwi, a Chinese player, is coming in, so they can hit 2 Koreans in the same time of the roster. We might see them in the future, in 2019, but this gives them carry presence in the top lane. different than Mouse, who comes in with frequent
Exactly.
tanks. So we're already seeing the Ryze picked away so Akali can have a better laning phase. You already made a mention it. Do you expect the Aatrox to go mid lane here?
I mean, I would expect that Xie is the one to pick up the Aatrox, but if you remember back to Asia Games, he wasn't confident to pick the champion.
That's true.
He had some different options there against some of the best mid laners, namely, of course, FLICKR in that case, in the world. So I would say it should go mid. However, 957 also has the capabilities of playing those carries himself. The concern for WE is that they're on blue side, and Rogue Warriors, if they're smart, they won't show where that flex is going until the very end of champ select. So you're not really sure what's going to happen there if you're WE.
I've got some bad news for Ben here. He's losing a lot of supports. Tom Kench, Shen, Rakan, Alistar. He's going up against the Braum. What do you expect to see him pick up here?
He may be the Gragas.
Oh,
now
that's
that
true.
I look at it, right?
That's true.
There's not a lot of options remaining in terms of tankiness with Alistar, Tahm Kench, and Shen gone. Especially with Rakan going with the Xayah that they banned away. Of course, they picked the Xayah for themselves. So some curious stuff here from WE. However, I would imagine if they need a tank in the support position, the Gragas would fill that role.
And there's still a few possibilities with this, like maybe a Lulu pick. They can still go towards a mage support, knowing that they have a pretty hefty bruiser tank in the top side.
Yeah, it's about being into the Akali as well, right?
That's
The Xayah
true.
runs the risk of dying for certain. The Ryze can machine gun. It can also get into the back line. So I think you're right. There is absolutely a world where a supportive, Janna Lulu-esque style support is definitely on the cards here for WE.
And now they know they're going up against SMLZ, so the ban's coming through for both Lucian and Jhin, respectable. I want to see what they end up picking up for Rogue Warriors. Now, SMLZ's put in these positions. He's not afraid to go towards Kog'Maw. It doesn't matter if he gets the support. So I'm just going to throw that right there, and whatever you want to do with it.
Just gonna let that one sit.
Yeah, just sit there. What do you expect?
I mean, with all of the AD carries banned away, I like the Lucian ban the most, actually, because Braum was locked in early. I would expect something physical from him in terms of the damage that he deals. So if he does go Kog'Maw, we might even see the full AD build. But I can't think of an AD carry at the top of my head.
I have no
However,
idea,
something
dude.
physical, maybe Ezreal, could actually fit the bill.
That's true. Immediately we're seeing the junglers come out. So Jin Zhao being picked up by Kiwi. I love to see him kind of diversifying his pool a little bit so he can look towards the top side. I think it's going to be a pretty top side heavy game from Rogue Warriors, knowing that Ryze has a lot of points you can play through. I think it's going to be at the top lane because Holder's been playing quite a few mages. And Akali, you just want to be able to support Do and B. But I can't believe I forgot about the
There you go.
misfortune.
There's the physical. We forgot.
That's got him. I mean, whenever it comes to SMLZ, he just they don't even know what he wants to pick. He just
You
locks
might
it in.
even say the nuke duck of AD carry.
Oh, that's
in
true.
terms of champions that he
Unique
has played.
champions.
I think he's actually got about 17 champions that are unique that he has played through the split, and he has had a lot more games to play, to be fair, compared to Nuke Duck, but
Yes.
boy does he play a lot of champions as
Plays
an
a lot
AD carry.
Because we initially questioned whether he's going to be the AD carry that gets hurt by the mage bruiser meta. And then he just shows up on a day, plays Karthus, Heimerdinger. So you're right. If I were to look towards the stats, I can just say for certain that the man has picked the most champions in the bottom lane. I remember in the spring split when Kai'Sa just came out and everyone called her garbage on release. He picked
was
him
the
up
first?
immediately,
Yeah.
expecting that he was going to play it later on in the playoffs, but also just getting advantages because the team played around him so heavily.
Yeah.
The early laning phase wasn't a problem.
And he even played it before the bust came into Kai'Sa, so SMLZ, very confident player, knows what he's doing, and in any conversation you have from Rogue Warriors, if they say scrims are going well and SMLZ is carrying, you know that's going to happen on stage with 100% certainty, so the team plays around that. However, when you actually take a second to look at their opponent's Team WE in this game, the Lulu went mid, the Gragas went to support. So it's not too surprising. We did see a Lulu, and we do still have the tank in the support position. But by doing that, they are enabling their AD carry, where the side of Rogue Warriors is a bit more conventional, and the Misfortune's just there for the team fight and lane control.
I feel like the gold medalist Shea ended up finding the light. He had that pilgrimage to Indonesia. He said, you know what? Wait a second. Why haven't I been playing towards my AD carry when that's just how you win games? That's how you win gold, Rusty.
I will
That's
say
the
that
ticket.
The meta has kind of shifted a bit. He was with Uzi at the top.
That's the ticket, Rusty.
There's no other way to win in League of Legends. this year.
Absolutely none. I've had Daddy Mystic all along just sitting there, responsible enough to hold a kit. So you're going to be responsible enough to hold that gold. So pick up the Ardent Sensor, play to your man's side. This is what WE is rolling with going up against the first place team in the West.
Just for reference, for those at home, he's not calling him Daddy Mystic for no reason. Mystic does actually have a child very recently. He has in fact had one, so he's legitimately a daddy, which is why Raz is able to call him such things and get away with that for free.
I called him that before he had a kid.
I don't believe you. Not even a little bit.
All right.
I reckon you would.
It's possible. Only for comedic purpose. Now we're about to get ourselves in the game. So we're in this position. I know in Chongqing, sometimes we have those problems and getting into it. If there's a tech issue, then you got to be expecting it at this point. Now, it gives you some time to think. It gives you time to hold off. I know there's a pick coming in for Lulu. Gragas in the bottom lane. Some questions toward Gragas players. You only see, if you look towards Europe, you see some bad Gragas supports. If you look towards here, you see some great things coming out from Ming and Mako.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be Ben. First time we get to see him on the Gragas. I'm not even going to ask what are you expecting, but do you like it?
I actually do like the Gragas pick a lot, and this is something that, back in 2010 when Gragas was a mid laner, it was always the same thing that carries through to today. It's that if you're a good Gragas player, then you can play Gragas kind of whenever you want. I'd say it's almost a liken to the Ezreal of AD carries. Don't play Ezreal unless you're good at Ezreal, otherwise you're just going to have a bad experience, right? Just because you're safe doesn't actually win you the game. Regarding Gragas, we've seen very good things from Ming and Mako, and what we have seen from Ben so far since he's come back to WE is that Mystic has looked significantly better, and that their duo has actually looked a lot better. Just comfort, it feels like, between the two of them being reunited. So I have a lot of faith in Ben. Whether the Gragas pick will work or not is still to be determined, but he should be picking it for a very good reason.
And he had some great games yesterday going up against Snake, so you expect him to perform. Now, happy birthday to 957. I saw this sign yesterday, so I'm not really sure what day is really his birthday. Just know that one of these days he celebrated it. So congratulations to him. He's the oldest player on the roster. He's the captain of the squad. So been leading them forward. I wonder if he's going to be able to lead them going into the new year. But that's what you expect out of that team.
They really do celebrate birthdays for a whole week.
They do.
In the LPL. It's birthday weeks for a lot of these players. EDG had Haro and Clearlove, I think, around the exact same day, but those signs were there for weeks. If Uzi has a birthday, then the signs in the arena are up for a week and a half, just around the entire mall. So it's almost like when you've got a girlfriend and her birthday has to go for a week and you don't get a choice.
It's definitely when you open up Facebook, recognize that it was definitely a friend's birthday, but you have no idea because you live in Shanghai, and so time zones definitely matter. And you just like, that too, actually, that too. You definitely have to go through a few checks and balances to get it open for yourself. But then you're just like, one of these days are wrong. But I'm just going to have to go out in there and say happy birthday. So happy birthday, 957. Hope you enjoy it. But one thing I've noticed about the Gragas, because this is probably one of those games that you can pick Gragas, be a subpar player, and you can get a lot of value out of it going up against the Misfortune, because Misfortune needs channel time.
Yeah, she has to sit perfectly still while she's doing it as well, and a lot of the good things we saw from Mig on his Gragas was disengage ultimates, the max range, knocking people back, and think of it like budget Poppy in that respect. You're knocking someone away at a crucial moment that gives you a numbers advantage, but the added bonus that a Gragas has is that you could knock people towards you if you want to go aggressively. Of course, being in the support position, you won't be seeing the Predator Gragas, so it's not all about the body slam engages unless you have the flash up. But I do think there's a lot of diversity there behind the potential on that Gragas pick.
Could be a lot of calls as we look towards the bottom lane now. Remember, guys, we're actually getting into game here slowly.
We had a lobby issue once again. The players are reconnecting.
Yeah.
Just give it a couple of minutes and we'll be back in. No problems at all.
Now, I know that says whoa, good. Don't know what the rest says, but I made that attempt, so congratulations.
I give you credit for that.
Yeah, there's a dud there. I just know the structures, not the actual. That's a question!
There's also marked with a question mark for the double question.
They're saying about someone owns something. Now, my producers are probably absolutely upset as I've just butchered everything about it. Probably the tone of whatever he was stating was actually incredibly wrong.
Yeah, learning Chinese is a big challenge we have noted so far.
Yeah, we go through a lot of lessons and lived here for quite some time. But it doesn't make it any easier, does it?
Not even a little bit, Raz. I'm not even going to say that. If someone asks, can you speak Chinese? My response is, I could order coffee.
Yes.
That's what I've got going.
It is for me a flat no. Because even saying in Chinese that I know a little bit then opens the floodgate of a conversation that I cannot follow up on.
They drop a full sentence on you, then you're just done.
Yes. And they speak so quickly, so it seems like a sentence, but it's an entire paragraph, and I can't respond to it. So that's been an entire phone conversations I've been having. This is not good.
Relatable.
Yeah. So I'm going to take a look at this, take another step back. I think one thing that I've been liking to seeing quite frequently is the Rise pick. I think Rise coming out as a flex in the LPL is fun to see. You know, you just leave it out on an island a lot of times. It gets put in the top side of the map.
Yeah, usually Snake are the ones that pick it as well, I've found. And, you know, Snake don't necessarily play towards Flandre all that often. Most of the team plays towards SOFM. But when you've got Rogue Warriors picking the champion, putting the Ryze in the top lane, which they do sometimes do, in this case, of course, it's the Akali, you see a little bit more focus from them towards the top laner, but not in terms of lane presence going top. It's more that they have better teleport plays to bring the Ryze elsewhere on the map.
Teleport plays and also just turns into a straight 1-3-1. So the strategy Rogue Warriors have is fairly unapologetic once it goes into like 20 minutes further. Just knowing that they have double teleports, Ryze and Akali. Holder's going to be holding that Akali. You can already see the graphics coming through, so we're getting ready. We are definitely gearing up for game 1. Team WE versus Rogue Warriors. Let's go. Now I was getting excited. The crowd got excited. Now they're just chanting to a Sepiad screen.
Yeah, you got to let them cheer first before you get the pause across. I respect that from the players. You know, last time we had a pause and it happened at the start of the game. The fans weren't sure whether they should cheer or not.
Yep.
But we are going to try and solve the issue as fast as we can. I believe it's just going to be a quick remake, easy as you like, and we'll get straight back in ASAP.
Make that lobby. And they cut me off on my point, Rusty. So I'm glad that I get to bring it back, have that talk about a 1-3-1. We've been seeing it quite a lot. I know Ryze and a few patches back, you can interrupt him fairly easily on his ulti now. He doesn't have the zonias that he can constantly go to, but it doesn't mean he's not a pest to deal with. And so composition from Rogue Warriors is fairly cheeky in terms of dealing with those 1-3-1.
Yeah.
They can also come in flank positions in team fights. When you see these compositions, it didn't work for Team China when they went to Asian Games. But you're bringing it back here now, putting Holder on towards the Akali. Do you see any point of strength here for Rogue Warriors?
I mean, for me, obviously 1-3-1s do have a lot of their strengths. If you can control the early game or even get to the mid game even, and you can actually set yourself up in those assignments, the risk that you run is your opponent saying, okay, we're just going to engage on you as 5, and we're going to take more than you can possibly get in the 1-3-1, or we're just going to force you to come back by forcing an objective, may it be a Baron in this case. And, you know, through all of this, that's where you have to look at WE's composition and say, what can they do if Rogue Warriors try and 1-3? One of the answers that they actually have available for themselves, and when you look at their composition being a Kindred, Lulu, Gragas, you don't fill yourself with hope saying this composition is so good at forcing that they're just going to be able to make the best of it. In fact, I would say WE are best suited to kiting backwards. You know, using the Kindred, Lulu, the Xayah to get the feathers out. Gragas can also kite incredibly well or turn on a dime. And Aatrox is the one that has to be diving. So what you're looking at for WE is an awkward situation if they get caught in a 1-3-1, because Aatrox is the only one that can actually answer the side lanes.
Yeah, just taking a look at the Keystone runes, the only thing that really comes to mind here is the Dark Harvest on SMLZ, making it known what he wants to do.
Absolutely. I mean, of course, they're going to invade a little bit aggressively here, Rogue Warriors at level 1. Now, the Dark Harvest Misfortune, Raz, I'm sure you're a little bit familiar with it as well. I was harping on about it the day it came out.
Yes, you were.
I saw some tweets from one David Freaked Hurley about it as well, but it suits the trade patterns of a Misfortune. Being able to hit in short windows and burst people out, it adds that little bit of extra depth in that laning phase.
Lulu's actually positioning to come in on the flank because this is a prolonged fight. Yeah, definitely resetting. So, oh my God, please! All right, SMLZ is getting smacked by this Gragas, but he's gonna have to back away. A little bit awkward.
Never ending.
Yeah, no, Ben's gonna pay the higher price. that was actually, he's gonna pay that one. That was just not smart. So he goes in for the double bop. Sure, that's impressive, but you don't have anyone to follow up, and there's a Braum. So level 1 versus a Braum, definitely not the best choice.
It's a game of chicken here as well, Rogue Warriors. They'll get the kill, so they'll set themselves up nicely as the end result from this, and it's a massive victory for Kiwi above all else. Pepper, level 1, SMLZ.
Oh my God, please!
He's going to make it out with no health to his name, though. Mystic now completely caught. He's on... Actually, no, he's not completely caught. He's on the right side of the map.
But look,
we're good.
Mystic respected SMLZ. The man was one auto attack away from death, but he was like, he has heal, he has flash. I'm not going to touch that man. He's beside some very burly people. So respectful there, understanding that the summoners are still up and available.
Yeah.
Kiwi, though, disrespectful. They're going to walk up to CA. Get out of this lane.
And it is important to note, of course, it's the heal for SMLZ, not the teleport. Kiwi's now about to face check 2 of them.
Okay.
He's in trouble.
Welcome to the LPL, buddy.
He's really feeling the fire. Now these Raptors are going to hurt. That's actually really big.
He has...
Oh my lord, he was close to dying.
Pepper has flash. Why do these people not just walk away?
This is a big skirmish. Just a glorified skirmish happening across map.
I don't know what I expected. I knew that this was going to happen. There was not going to be a play-by-play for this series, and we decided to do it.
Yeah, we picked the Rogue Warrior set, didn't we?
We did. It was not good.
To be fair, I have speculations that my play-by-plays hate me. It's been 2 weeks and I haven't seen a single one of them.
Yeah.
I was casting with FLICKR last week, and this week I've got Raz.
Nice practice for playoffs, by the way. So immediately going into SMLZ, there's a rune page. We already talked about the Dark Harvest. There's a bit of a healing that he can get done in the rune phase that he's netted himself. So yeah, SMLZ, the wave is actually very damaging for Mystic. The usual way you play up against the Xayah is to deal with the range advantage. Yeah, that's range advantage there. So I want to see how he ends up doing it, because a lot of the times it's very linear playing up against Misfortune. You know what she's trying to do, but whenever she sets up the wave, you just have to stand back.
It's one thing to know what she's going to do. It's another thing to be able to stop it from happening as well. And with the way that this early game panned out through the laning phase, just to add a little bit of extra context there, is because SMLZ was forced to recall at level 1, he was going to come back at a very inopportune time. But that timing actually usually builds waves. If you get free time as an AD carry at level 1 to stack up a wave and push into their turret, then the wave's going to do the exact same thing going back towards you. So you'll see that it's a 5 CS advantage for SMLZ. But when you look at the size of the wave that's crashing, that's a big wave. So with this constant ebb and flow in the bottom lane of control and pressure,
God.
Doinby's actually going for the all-in here.
Yeah, half the flash on that. Didn't have much mana, but he had enough for the Q. So Shay's gone. No flash for him. Still has the cleanse, but you know Kiwi is watching close, because the key to this lane, key to the game, honestly, for Rogue Warriors is being able to free up Doinby. He has his eye on Lulu.
And all the chaos that happened at level 1 res does result in a lot of lane control bouncing back and forth for certain. So we spoke towards the bottom lane. We were rudely interrupted by Doinby doing good things in mid.
Oh no,
Kiwi's
this is
been
awkward.
spotted on a ward here as well.
He's just literally rotating around a ward, but Shay's acting like he doesn't see.
Yeah, I mean, it's smart from Shea, is it not?
Yeah, it definitely is, but Shay's just feeling that. He's like, what does he know? Okay, now he can actually go in for this one.
Big trouble. Shea is absolutely just dead, Raz. There's no way out for him. Now, there was a cleanse available, so it does mean that Doinby can't engage. WE coming in on the backside, perhaps looking for a fight themselves. They're not able to connect with the Aatrox, so no one gets pulled back into safety. Yeah, and it's just going to be the disengage and catching the wave.
Going to be full push in for Doinby, so he has a good time to base. Oh my goodness. This is just nuts. Just actually go back to base, people. Doinby wants a base timing so he can match the Lulu here. Finally gets it. Can build up his tier, I believe. Should be a good enough. It's just 42 CS. If he doesn't get tier here, I'd be upset.
Yeah, I feel like this is a good point in the game to remind everyone that we're not play-by-plays. So when a fight happens, we often go, who's going to talk right now? And there's like a millisecond of looking at each other and not talking.
Yeah, a lot of my natural inclinations are just to watch and wait. So whenever you get to those situations, like, what is he doing? Oh, wait, I should probably be saying what he's doing.
So apologies if it's a VOD review in advance.
So at this point, I like what I see out of Rogue Warriors just because they're empowering the Doinby so early on. I'm just really surprised that Shea stayed in for how long he did. And then leaned towards the left side.
Yeah.
He just saw the Xin Zhao go left side.
He also had vision on the bottom side as well. So I understand what you're saying there for certain. Now, what I will say is that he feels very comfortable against Doinby, or he felt very comfortable against Doinby by having the cleanse, but with no flash. If the Xin goes first, you're just done.
Just look how damaging this lane is here for. Not just for Holder, but I'm talking about Xie can't even walk up to the wave because it was frozen so close to the Rise's tower. That being said, there's a skirmish here. Mystic just walking up. So really well played from SMLZ and Killua, leaning to the top side, knowing that you don't want to walk up to the feathers.
So wave building for WE as well, as the cannon's going to get dematerialized. And Kiwi, hovering on the bottom side of the map, means that WE do have to actually show a whole lot of respect here now, as the chance of a Xin Zhao appearing in the bottom lane increases, and because Pepper is visible on the opposite side of the map to WE. They know that they're on the weak side. We'll see how they play this one out.
And you know what? Shea understands his fruits. Working with Melon in the spring split, understood that Melon's usual inclination is just to gank mid lane repeatedly, non-stop, and has to go up against Kiwi, and Kiwi just knows, at this point, especially after what happened in the early gank, that just play it safe. Doinby has full control of Kiwi. Kiwi is actually just doing his job
This is nasty.
Yeah, this is nasty. What are you doing, buddy?
Doombee's got the level advantage. He's also going for the double Dark Seal with his Corrupting Potion. So when you actually look at the mid lane, that's a whole lot of sustain. Shea is going to try and match it of his own accord, but he's nowhere near as tanky as that of Doombee right now with the state of this lane. It's pretty much an entire tier in advantage for Doombee right now.
So how does WE break this curve? Because they're losing top side, or at least mid lane, and then in the bottom lane so heavily that Kiwi's just taking full ownership of the red side jungle. I know Pepper's walking in here, but he's going to be met with a lot of power. So what would you like to see out of Pepper?
I mean, I'd like to see Pepper bring 957 if possible, because like we spoke towards just as the game started, he's the one big source of engage or dive alongside the Gragas. And I really would like to see him come in, maybe make a play towards mid lane with the Kindred. Doombee, in his current state, has no flash. So the way that he's playing this lane out so aggressively is a big confidence play around having Kiwi nearby, and that's where I think you just go for the numbers overwhelming and try and get a play with 957. Now, tragically, he doesn't have the teleport. He doesn't have a real opportunity to get in there unless he pushes a wave in top and disappears downriver. You can see the control that Rogue Warriors currently have on that side of the map.
Yeah, stealing blue buff. Now, blue buff is going to be spawning for Rogue Warriors, but you have a lot of time for Kiwi to go out and defend it. So Pepper's going to be in a really tough spot. He's here clearing out wards, which gives Mystic a lot of pressure, but he's not going to be supported when he ultimately walks in to try and take the blue.
Yeah, they want a blue trade. I mean, you can see the way Ryze is now posturing himself. Doesn't have a ward, so he's just going to have to physically embody the ward and place himself in that area. Most likely just going to be 2 blue buffs for free here for Rogue Warriors after a nice little invade.
Now, you can see CA reeling. 20 CS behind in the matchup mid lane after how dirty Doombee was for so long. Just 9 minutes into the game.
So you nasty.
Yeah, you just not. That's not cool.
You reckon that was intentional?
It's possible.
It went to 22 health. I'm not sure.
I don't know, man.
I'm willing to say that Kiwi just stole that.
Yeah, I think he just wanted that.
Oh, he's going in.
That's the best thing about Akali. She's just going straight for the trade. The moment you have Obscurity available to you, you just win all trades. You have the Electrocute proc. You can constantly send out your own trade pattern. Best thing you can do is Q, EEQ, so you can get the full trade off. If you would like to see that being said, you can get baited in. He doesn't have Obscurity for a little bit, so you can't send out another Shroud. So Pepper's going to have to commit to a long wait here.
There's also now 3 people grouping up in the middle lane. SMLZ has been left
on
his lonesome. Holder. Get it, Raz.
It's actually, okay, I'll just go for
it. Talk me through it.
Look, Holder is completely safe. I don't know about CA. This is actually going to be easy for Kiwi to just tell. Oh my god. Heaven to Betsy. That's what I'm going to say. I'm stealing that one from Quick Shot.
You didn't even know where that was coming from. Okay.
I legitimately didn't know if Doombee was going to try hard for the kill. He had the flash available, so he actually could have flashed on his head, but it wasn't going to happen in that instance. Playing it safely, doesn't want to give too much away since Pepper was still on the map.
No, and it would have ultimately just been a summon a spell trade as the end result. Shea with his ultimate with cleanse and flash available. More damage to be placed down, and this is very good pressure in the middle lane from Rogue Warriors. It's going to eventually become a turret.
Shea does have to get out of here. If he gets rune prisoned, that's a full combo. So at least Shea is respecting that. It's always in arm's reach, but remember that's a flash still available for Doombee. That being said, with how poor this lane's working out for CA, he's going to need some help. Pepper's in the area. Maybe can hold the wave. There's a possibility on that front, but at least WE's clearing out the vision around this one. Pepper, get the hell out of here.
Yeah, Pepper's not going to be able to hold that one either, especially not without CA nearby. And of course, without the teleport, not going to be coming in to assist whatsoever. That is shared first turret blood going towards the side of Rogue Warriors. And that gold lead stretches to 3,000.
11 minutes in and they're able to get the mid lane tower without even expending a dive. You don't get to see that a lot in the play because mid lane is actually super difficult to be able to take down. Usually you can get some help from Ben, your support.
Yeah.
Maybe your top laner, in this case 957, had a lot of pressure in lane, but didn't actually move out towards mid lane and give much help. So you're just in a position now. Sure, great kite back, an eventual composition coming out of WE, but they're reeling early.
Kind of left him out to dry here, CA, having a very rough experience. Of course, when you look towards the winning lanes on the map, you'd say that 957 is the one big winning lane. It's very hard to beat a Xayah and a Gragas in a 2v2, but they'll just sustain and not really win that one. Misfortune does have the slight edge in terms of lane control, and Braum making a pretty significant difference there as well against the Feathers. So as the lanes go, WE's only real laning win condition is the top side of the map. and they haven't been able to play towards that. They haven't been able to play towards mid, and bottom's just going even as the waves ebb and flow. And
this might help out 957, sending down the Rift Trail, being able to bully through that top lane tower, and going to try for the next one. Now, of course, a trade is going to happen. Mystic and Ben playing it respectfully, trying to see if Kiwi is in the area, do find them, and back away from the turret as a whole. So I know we've been watching Snake games, and they've been falling victim to those dives, but WE, not going to let it happen.
Not at all. Now, Holder may actually get the damage here onto the eye. It's maybe going to get a charge.
What the hell?
We'll see how Shelly acts. There you go. Not going to get it. Just wanted to have a swing, and a big miss.
That was the quickest blink of all time. Usually just takes some time before it reopens again, but no, it didn't even let him go in towards the second tower.
Just blowing my mind. Is it a blink? Oh, or is it a wink?
Oh my goodness, stop.
Because he has one eye.
Has to be a
Has
blink.
one eye.
It has to be a blink. Because a wink, there's a reason for a wink. A wink is conscious.
Well, then how do you know if Shelly is winking or blinking?
Oh my god, you're right!
That's all I'm saying. I'm going to leave it at that. But
Okay, alright.
I just really wanted to get that
For
one
you
out
people
there.
out there, you find out. For us, she's already dead, so it doesn't matter. God bless you. You're done, Shelly. So with the pressure being heavily moved towards 957, he's actually then I'm trying to figure out where he's gone and dust towards the bottom side. So this is just going to be a full swap in lanes. Holder's going to
he's going to regret not having that E potentially.
Yeah.
He's about to get collapsed on.
Now
Gragas
Holder,
was looking.
He should feel rather safe until no, he's gone. What? He's going to have to take some time before his next ulti. That's his second ulti. So he should be fine unless if Ben just decides to not have cooldown.
He still would have had the E up, so it doesn't matter in the end, Raz.
Yep.
That's a lot of mobility from it, Akali. The end result is still going to be a turret trade between both teams. It's not the first turret, so in terms of pacing Rogue Warriors with a slight advantage, they're going to keep pushing.
Yeah, this is a decent-sized wave here for Rogue Warriors, so they're going to be able to take this one tower down. It's a lot of damage from SMLZ and the Xin Zhao as well, so large trade in favor of Rogue Warriors.
Definitely is. Doinby also hovering towards the bottom side of the rift. He's got his eyes set on Pepper. And he's actually going to commit himself to the Realm Orb.
Now this is a little bit risky now. 957 is going to take the brunt of the damage. It's a 2v2 here. Now 957 has a second life and Pepper has his own ultimate. I don't think you can take this one, Holder, but I'll be surprised. Shea even comes in with a little bit of insurance. That one doesn't make sense for Rogue Warriors.
No, there's no ultimate for Holder either on the Akali, so the assassination was definitely lacking, and they're able to get what they're after here, Team WE. And that was mostly just reactionary to Rogue Warriors being super aggressive, choosing to make plays on the weak side of the map, not respecting that it is, in fact, the weak side. And they're made to pay for that, definitely.
It's just confidence from Doinby. Sends out the ultimate so he can get on top of Pepper, but 957, really well played, comes in hot, immediately sends out the ultimate. And so, I mean, you came in confident, but there's no way you can get the kill on either member.
Not at all, and of course 957's damage is so high on the Aatrox, especially at this point in the game, pretty much at that first item completion point. And they didn't really want to kill him, it felt like. They were looking for Pepper. But Pepper, just a casual hop over the wall, no vision for Doinby. He didn't want to waste any summoners to try and find him because he can just hop back, and even then still had the ultimate. They expend half of their resources, they don't fully commit to the play. Then WE are just like, fantastic, let's do it.
Oh, they're going to have to get out of here, both 957 and Pepper. In fact, that's a lot of damage on the Q here. But they're getting straight on top of the SMLZ. Brings them right back. Ultimate from Q. Oh my goodness, get the hell out of here. There's no way. 957 is down, and they're going to get follow-up to get the kill onto Pepper as well.
Teleport's even coming in. Xie nearby. He's going to try and go for the kills on the SMLZ. Not going to find it. Cask knocks Doinby back towards his team. The WE just going to have to disengage.
Yeah, so a lot more members here from Rogue Warriors. A lot of confidence. Maybe too much for Doinby. He has a lot of
That's a lot of damage.
So Ben's going to have to get out of there. Mystic can stay, but with an asterisk of not, defending that tower if he's pushed down the shove. So yeah, he's just, you might want to calm down here. 3 members to try and save the tower. Let's see if it works well.
They should be able to. Mystic, of course, still having that ultimate. And a lot of damage. He's going to try and ult in towards it. Not finding the kills. Teleport actually coming in, Raz, from 957.
He's going to get the first kill now, going straight towards SMLZ. All in the meantime, Holder doing a lot of damage. Wait a second. I'm not even going to call it, but he went off.
He got 3 kills, of course, 2 for the Aatrox as well on the backside. It's a big trade across the board for both of these teams, but Rogue Warriors are still the ones who come out just that little bit further on top once again. They got the damage onto the bottom lane, and the teleport's expended from WE just to trade.
Now, this is what excites me. Rusty.
What is it, Raz?
You get Holder onto the field. I know that they're giving him some experience because he hasn't played throughout the split and he won't play during the playoffs. But if he does this, he's going to play during the playoffs. I don't know how else to put it. Instant assassination on 2 members, finishes it up because you're trying to play around his obscurity. You're not going to be able to find him, so he nets down the triple.
And to put that out plainly as well, he was in a 1v3 position, but he's still a Kali, and he's so hard to hit, not just because of the obscurity, but because of the mobility, skill shots, things that you have to throw on the ground, and AoEs are very difficult to connect to the Akali. So he's able to navigate that brilliantly, now puts himself at 3-1, and all of the lead that 957 had through that laning phase is pretty much equalized when you look at the difference between the tops.
Now, Holder, of course, Korean top laner. Been with the squad for quite some time, been streaming with them, playing in Korean solo queue. And he is just he's a treat to watch. Played in Korean Challenger scenes for a little bit, so got scouted by Rogue Warriors, bringing him onto the team. And he's just played carries specifically, only. Seen Vladimir, Rise, Holder now on to the Akali pick that we've seen let me play an Asian game. And so he's coming out, taking names, going up against 957, which the league respects. Every top laner in the league comes out and says that 957 is a player to beat because he's so in tune with the rest of the squad. And Holder's just saying, I don't know how to respect you. I don't got to respect my elders. I'm the young gun. I'm that young blood.
Do you think that he's better than Mouse, though? I think it's a really difficult conversation to have, right?
It is definitely difficult, but we're going to find out. Holder's getting a lot of damage. If he can get out of this one, then I'll say he's better than Mouse. But 957, already hearing me say that, says, come back here. Yeah, Holder's not, he doesn't want any bit of that.
You really made that a simple bet to make. Raz now believes Holder's better than Mouse because all Holder did was walk away.
No!
In saying that, I will say a bit of added context for you is that Holder has only played carries. Mouse is known for Mundo, for tanks, and they've both had pretty good games. It's engaged in the mid lane.
Okay, Kulua taking a lot of damage off himself, going out the shield, but he's going to get out of there. Ben frozen in stasis. Speaking of stasis, Pepper needs to stay here for a little bit while longer, but it's going to be easy to kill him. Kiwi, one-way road to death. But I think right now Rogue Warriors are... Wait a minute, Holder. Holder about to get the kill on the CA, but a lot of them... Oh my god, the man won't stop. Find that kill, buddy. That's a quadra kill for him.
Yeah, 4 kills for Holder. Rogue Warriors win the team fight very comprehensively, pushing forwards now. They'll get themselves the mid lane in a turret. They may even consider going further, and it could just be an inhibitor here, granted to Rogue Warriors by that team fight victory.
Rusty, he's 7-1-0.
He's a beast.
He is killing it. Now, I remember the conversations we had since Rogue Warriors have locked in that first place spot was, yeah, get the new guys in there. Kiwi, Holder, they need that experience, that on-stage experience now that they've secured themselves in playoffs. This feels like a tryout period. You get to a point where Kiwi is not an absolute nuisance. He's not doing too poorly, but it's Holder in these team fights finding himself the backline immediately onto Mystic, and then moves towards CA. There's not much you can do the moment he's able to find you.
Yeah, once he's on top of you, he just does so much damage and has so much mobility. That third kill also being gifted over to him by the Kindred trying to step up, not having the ultimate available, of course. And credit to Holder for what it's worth. He is playing very well on this Akali. He's been opened up on the map by the team fighting of WE, however, making sure that all of the fights are in skirmishes. And WE already spoke towards the engage that they've got and how it is mostly lacking. And they spent most of that fight kiting, but they didn't do the kiting in a front-to-back manner. So the Akali just picks off the flanks and finds 4.
Yeah, Flatfleet put, this game is going way too quickly for WE's liking. You're looking towards the items. Mystic's got his second item, sure. He's got his rapid-fire cannon, but he definitely needs his Infinity Edge. And if we're talking about CA, he's moving towards the Ardent Sensor, nowhere near it. So the next fight is going to be the pretense that he's not going to have it.
Yeah.
Mystic's not going to have the damage. The damage simply isn't there for Team WE unless if 957 starts off hot.
When you think about, let's say, Zillion, for all you NA fans out there, the way that you want to beat the Zillion is by making him ult himself.
They love him.
You know, by preventing him from ulting the big carry. I think that's also going to ring true here for the Lulu.
Holder finds his pick. 957 has to pop his ultimate, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get out. That's not a lot of HP he's getting too. So Holder's he's just watching, he's waiting, gets the kill. But at the same time, kill happening at the top side. Kiwi, get your pick, buddy. Waiting for Pepper to stand firm. Ultimate death sentence there. There's no way you're coming out of that one alive.
Not at all. They gang up around him. They lock him down. That's the jungler also gone for Team WE. And so Rogue Warriors are able to move forwards now to the Baron buff. When you look at what can they do to contest here, Team WE, the answer's not a whole lot. They don't have a lot of people left alive. It's Ben, Mystic, and CA. they'd have to pull out a miracle to make that happen. And Holder, he's just going to play goalie anyway. He's not going to let you get to the pit.
Yeah, he's making them hold that L at that point. 2 people dead, Pepper and 957 with pretty long death timers, 25 seconds it seemed like it. So you weren't going to have 2 of those members. It starts off, we didn't get to see this one because we already had the Akali getting the 1v1. Mystic really far up, Realm Warp coming in. You can already see the delivery service on the Kiwi, he gets the job done.
Yeah, really good combo here from Rogue Warriors. Not the first ones, and they won't be the last ones to do this in the LPL, but if you have a Xin Zhao and a Rise, and the Xin Zhao has flash or not, you can throw him in, and then he just presses R, and if he's able to knock anyone back towards the team, that's best case scenario, but even if he can't, you can't deal damage to him, because he's able to sweep as the fight continues.
Oh my god, get obliterated by SMLZ, and he's chasing you. Killua wants to find the door on one more person. One more kill goes across there as Ben dies to follow suit. So welcome to the LPL, where everything is an objective. Red buff, they ain't gonna give that one up.
Yeah, it's also objectives that we actively contest. And welcome to Rogue Warriors as well. They are just the quintessential LPL team. And if you don't know them, you should definitely get used to their name because they are making a run for Worlds. And this is their last set of the regular season before they try to make that run.
Oh, this might actually be their last push. DoNB holding 957 still. Wait a minute, the entirety of Rogue Warriors are actually moving towards the top side.
They're looking for the Kindred as well.
So they want Kindred, they've already rounded them up.
Oh no.
Here comes the sheep. Wait a minute,
Pick
Kiwi's
one.
found him, get him! If he gets out, I will be upset. SMLZ is about to die because of this. He is so close, he's down now. All is said and done, and it becomes a trade because of how reckless they are.
That was a big force. We're also looking at the Kindred against the Xin Zhao. The ultimate is going to come down, but he's looking at an Akali with all that mobility. He's just going to lock you down easy peasy. So there they go. The kills go across. Baron buff still available in the mid lane, and Rogue Warriors might just push to finish.
3 people dead. Shea can come up in 10 seconds, but 10 seconds sounds like a lot here. Mystic are going to try and do something, but Holder's already on top of his head. Oh my goodness, he's just going to keep going. There's nothing stopping him, and I'm pretty sure he has stopwatch at this point, so just go wild, buddy. There's nothing stopping you. Please just continue. Oh,
there's a lot stopping him now.
All right, end the game quickly. All right, it's not going to happen.
You're going to have to reset. Holder just goes a little bit too deep. Tarnishes the record, but don't worry, it's not a stopwatch, Raz. It's a Zonya's Hourglass.
Right.
He'll be able to use that one again, no problems.
The guy has too much gold at this point. 25 minutes into the game, 8-2-1. His Vladimir performance was just as good. I seem like a Holder fanatic, a salesman at this point. But this is where the damage really comes through. They try and get the kill on towards Shea. Sure, the job is done, but SMLZ is reeling at this point. There's no first aid kit here, so gets the kill. Ben literally just bops him and flashes away. And sure, ultimately this is Rogue Warriors taking the kill and they're moving towards the Nexus. But it's unfortunate that SMLZ wasn't there for the journey.
Yeah, and credit to Shea, actually. He navigated that excellently to get himself, not the kill, but the damage done, the trade done. And whilst he does ultimately go down, that buys time, and that's time that Pepper and 957 desperately needed. I know it doesn't look good as an end result, but you have to respect the efforts that Shea put into that in terms of his positioning and the mechanics that he made to try and survive for as long as he did. Maybe trade.
I have some bad news. Ardent Sensor is still not there. And this is what you would have to believe to be the game-ending
It's been
push.
like 5 minutes and he's got Boots of Lucidity.
Yep, so
I think it's been his biggest purchase in
some
that time.
cooldowns are definitely going to come up slightly faster, but I think they need a little bit more than that. This might be the final push. Now, Rogue Warriors shepherding the mid lane wave, has Holder in the top lane.
Baron just wore off though.
That's true.
In terms of final pushes, it's not going to be as easy. Super minions can still be trimmed down by the Xayah. And this final push is not going to be the simplest thing to navigate. No idea how that melee minion got where it did, but
it's a journeyman.
It's all about top lane for me. Rogue Warriors, they want to break open a second.
Slow on DoNB as he gets caught off guard. That's a big shield, but he's going to have to die at some point. Still getting shielded up, so he's still alive for a little bit longer. SMLZ is going to die here if Aatrox keeps at him. The Holder's found his target, gets the kill. Yeah, this has to be lights out here as Rogue Warriors just clean sweep Team WE.
And WE choose to take the engage. They choose to take the fight. At the end of the day, they're not able to get the team fight victory. They were too far behind before the fight even started. White flags come up. Rogue Warriors victorious.
24-7 for a Game 1 performance. Close up to the man. Super good performance from Holder. And you just have to hold it. Keep giving him carries. It feels like the double carry, double threat DoNB is what we say, because you only really expect Rogue Warriors to have 2 threats in the mid lane and bottom lane. Turns into a bit of a triple threat.
It's closer and closer to the Invictus gaming style, you'd have to say, in terms of, control with multiple carries and try and win the lane through having 3 different threats on the team. Of course, this time around, Holder, he's going to be the star of the show. He's going to get all the kills. You can see the gold that he had as well. And it was overall a fairly clean game from Rogue Warriors, besides a couple of small things that, to me, you look at it, you watch the tape back, and you don't even get a lot from that. It's Rogue Warriors just being too aggressive, knowing how far ahead they were. I think the one that I would look at, though, Raz, was the Rise play on towards the Kindred on that blue side of the map.
That's something that you see a little bit out of Doomby, and I think that's the one valuable tape that you can get from it going into playoffs, is that Doomby's a little bit hyphy. You have that lead for yourself, and he wants to try and fight even when it doesn't seem necessary. So, of course, that one play goes in what seems like an impossible 2v2. That being said, well done. I'm going to take a look at one of the replays of the Akali triple kill, because, ladies and gentlemen, we're in the Akali show. I just wanted to cast an Akali game. I turned out to be a play-by-play for it, and it kind of made me feel good.
You volunteered to be a play-by-play?
Instant double kill. Still Shroud against the triple kill, dog. That was hyphy.
It was actually very clean from him as well. And after, not a promising start to the game, you'd have to say, being up against an Aatrox, not the easiest lanes to navigate, loses his turret, compliments of Pepper coming up as well. But he found all of himself through the teleports and through the team fights. And then with that lead, no one was stopping him. He actually was able to get the 1v1 on Aatrox, and then consequentive team fights afterwards. He's just cleaning up.
Now we have another replay. What do you think that's going to be?
Akali.
It's going to be more Akali. Let's just get the Akali out of the way, can we? So this is great because it doesn't look like an Akali play. In fact, it starts on towards Killua, but they've already binded their target. Mystic's in a pretty bad position, gets slowed down, and you already see the Holder found his target. So this was already a risky situation to find yourself in, but just take it away.
I mean, you saw the first kill already onto the Gragas, and then you'll notice that Xie and Mystic, while standing next to each other, are separated from both 957 and
close up
Ben. So they get themselves the kills here. Rogue Warriors with Assassins are able to separate and split fights up as well. And that's against a team that wants to kite backwards and fight on the 5v5 working back as a team. I mean, the flying V from Rogue Warriors just split them up.
Yep, split them up, allowed them to get isolated. Now, speaking of isolation, man of the match, the man that we put a spotlight on is going to be Holder, no surprise. 8-2-0, and a lot of the times, he just died, well, 10-2 apparently because of the final fight on towards the Nexus, just because he kept trying to dive in. This was a perfect game cutting out of Holder.
You might be wondering, why is he a bit of a blur? It's because he's moving so fast, you can't actually see him on that Akali. It was a good performance from him. Of course, kill participation never really indicative for top laners. He was there when it mattered the most, and he got all of the kills towards the back half of the game, as he dealt a whole lot of damage for an assassin.
And honestly, if you find yourself in a 1-3-1, I know a lot of the times people look at kill participation and say, that's low, that's bad. But you should probably realize if you're trying to isolate people in side lanes, like we had in one of the bottom lane fights between him and Aatrox, he did his job. RW are completely ecstatic that they were able to get a lot of 4v4s in the mid lane while still allowing advantages to come through in Holder.
And they didn't have to do the 1-3-1. They didn't have to split up the map completely. They just took the 1-4 knowing how far ahead he got from that single team fight. And they used him to the fullest. And after he was getting those solo kills, they then took the fight elsewhere on the map. And that's how they're able to break open the game. Just too much pressure coming out of Rogue Warriors really in the 5v5.
Yeah, and thinking about game 2 a little bit, what would you even change coming out of WE? Because they tried to stall out the usual WE strategy, and it didn't work out straight from the laning phase alone.
I mean, we'll get into that as we get into the second game.
Yes,
for me,
it's
the jungler.
Okay. All right. We're going to have a good look towards the jungler, but remember, tune in. We're going to be seeing game 2 right quick after this break.
登峰造极，方可声名远扬。侠盗勇士自在威震四方。